Welcome to Healthy Homesteading Adventures. I'm Tamara. Today I'm going to talk to you about leaky motorhome roofs and the tarps that can be used to cover it and help you get by until you get the leaks actually fixed. So I'm sharing with you the struggles I've gone through over the years. After my divorce with my husband, I found out what he was using on the top of the motorhome. It was one of these blue tarps. And it was just set there on the top, and when I looked at it, I thought, oh, this water can go right under this tarp. Here's a picture of it. What I want to show you is the kind of tarps that are available. I've arrived at Harbor Freight Tools. They will have some tarps that we can look at. And I also have gotten tarps from Tractor Supply. And actually, I think you can order them online, and I will put the link in the description. Let's go inside and see what they've got. Okay, so for covering a motorhome, it needs to be fairly big. But I don't remember how long my motorhome was. Sometimes you end up getting one that's even larger, but you're looking at over $100. $139 for that one. $169.99, $170 basically. These are the kind that are supposed to last better out in the sun, I think. Weather resistant, see that? You want to look for that so that it can take the sun better. Just a little advice. Never buy the blue tarps unless you're just going to use it temporarily. They are meant to fall apart into tiny little pieces. There's nothing more annoying, so don't buy them unless you want to clean up a big mess. I mean, you may think, oh, they're cheaper than the white ones. Get what you pay for. I'm back home in my motorhome now, continuing to narrate this video. After I had bought a nice large tarp, bigger than what I needed one time, I thought this would make a really nice awning. It was long enough to hook up to the house so that when it rained I could walk out to the motorhome and be dry. Mostly the motorhome was for cooking and showering and things like that. I made it look nice on the side so it would be shade and I could sit out there. As you can see in this picture, that I used a blue tarp for the outdoor shade, and the motorhome tarp wasn't too long. You can actually see out the windows, but when I've had to buy the larger ones because they didn't have a smaller size, then I had to cover my windows, and I didn't like that too well. What I forgot was that the winds are very vicious in French Gulch, as the winds come down through the canyon very fast, or the gulch, and my tarp didn't last in those positions for very long. We had had an awning that came with the motorhome, and we left it out one day, came back to find it totally ripped. So it was ruined because it can't handle the wind. Okay, this is part of a tarp that had been on top of the motorhome. I'm using it to cover my gasoline tanks. You want to have your gasoline covered because bears like to play with those. Okay, coming on over here. My ex-husband had put this tarp down and then brought the engine down, the generator down. This has been sitting here for a few years, but as you can see, it is tearing apart into little itty-bitty pieces. The plastic is just meant to do that. See how it's kind of woven in there? Now back to this one. I mean, it is starting to tear. It has a hole, but I haven't seen it start to fall apart like that. I have a lot of footage on different problems I've had with tarps, and so I've been trying to get them organized And I think is what I'll do is just end the video here for this one and just say it's about choosing the tarps. Final words on that. You want to know the size, the length, and the width of your motorhome or trailer. And then you want to determine how many feet that you want the tarp to go beyond that. And like I said, you don't always get what you want. Sometimes they're out of the size you want and you have to get one bigger. And so that I will be covering in future videos, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so you can see the struggles that I went through with the tarps. And I wanted to say I was beginning to think something was wrong with these tarps because I was still getting water through. There's something really awful called condensation, that if water is allowed to pool on top of the tarp, it will, through condensation, go right through. So I'll be showing that in the videos. Yep, so stay tuned so that you won't miss them. Alright, see you next time. Bye.